Get ready to see how I used Dollar Tree items to make beautiful holiday decor, and then gave it a major glow up with the Cricut Joy. And as always, DIY treats. Welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. Hi guys, it's Aneka and welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. So to say I am excited about today's video would be the understatement of the century because today's video is sponsored by Cricut. Now, the closest I've been to using a Cricut for any DIY project in the past has been literally standing in the store and dreaming about all the cool things that I can make with it. And so I was super excited to get my hands on a Cricut Joy and some of the products that you use with it. And I am floored by how, as a beginner Cricut user, I can make beautiful home decor and really give those Dollar Tree DIYs a glow up. So I'm excited to show you everything that I learned, and I've got a lot more to learn, which means more DIY projects on a budget. Now, before I get into showing you how to use the Cricut Joy and how to make some beautiful high-end looking Christmas decor with it, I'd like to say, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Everyone, hit that notification bell so you'll be ready when my next video comes out. And when the video is over, head down to the comments and let me know which DIY was your favorite. But also, if you've been using a Cricut machine for a while, please let me know your tips and tricks down in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. I know I'm going to be using this a lot this Christmas season, so please let me know your tips and tricks. That would be so helpful for me and also anyone else watching the video. Now, I just assumed that any machine that could do such intricate cutting and things like that would really need a lot of setup, that I would have to practice a lot to get it just right. But guys, that was not the case. I set the machine up so quickly. You take it out of the box, go to the website, hook it up to your Bluetooth, and before you know it, you're already doing a sample cut. One thing I love about the way they boxed this Cricut Joy is that when I opened it up, I didn't have to use any of the vinyl that I was going to use for projects. There's already a little square inside that you can practice on. Make sure your machine is working correctly, but also I could make sure that I knew what I was doing without wasting any of my vinyl that I wanted to use on my projects. And I was floored by how easy it was. I just assumed it was going to take a lot to set up, but that was not the case. So the Cricut Joy is perfect for any beginner because you really have to know what you're doing. You just start it up and start making high-end, beautiful projects from the beginning. So with that in mind, I opened up Design Space and I used it to make some easy, beautiful, high-end DIY Christmas decor. You know, I'm already starting with my Christmas crafts. I don't have it out in my home yet, but I like to get a jump start on it so that as soon as that Christmas season hits, I'm ready to decorate. So it's time to craft. The first DIY I'm going to make is going to use this triangular picture frame that I got from Dollar Tree. I loved the shape of it and I thought I could make something really pretty out of it. First, I needed to take out the backing and flip it over, and then I'm going to remove this lion head from the top. Now, you can do this in any color that you want, but I decided to use black and red. So I grabbed this red bell, also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and just use some brown paint and just dab just a little bit of brown all over it to take a little of the shine off and to make it look a little more rustic and worn. Once I've got that done, I'm ready to start cutting my vinyl. Now, I just measured the bottom of the triangle so that I would know how big to make my decal. And then I went right into Design Space, typed up the words that I wanted. I wanted to say "and all a good night" because my kids right now are super into the night before Christmas, but I also think Jingle All the Way would be a really fun one to do. Now, one of the fun things about the Cricut Joy is that it uses this smart vinyl, so you do not need to use a mat. So once you're ready to make your project, you just press make it, you press that you do not want to use a mat and that you're using the smart vinyl permanent, because that's what I'm using in this project today. Of course, if you're using another material, you would go ahead and choose that from the menu. And I loved how easy it was to just know where to click, what to press, and it even tells you when to put your vinyl into the machine. And once you put it in, it's just going to measure and make sure that you have enough vinyl for your project. Once again, making it foolproof for me. I love that little detail that I wouldn't ruin any vinyl by sticking it in and not having enough. And once you're ready to make it, you press go and it makes this beautiful cut. It took less than a minute, you guys, to cut out these words. And once it was all cut out, I'm going to remove the excess vinyl from around my lettering. And this was really easy to do by just pulling at that 45-degree angle, and it just pulled right off of there, leaving my letters behind. Now, as you'll notice, there is still some vinyl in the middle of the loops, for example, the G, the O, and the D. So I'm going to use my weeding tool and I'm just going to very easily pick those right out. Now, this was really easy to do and it went really quickly. I thought maybe this would be a tedious part of the process. It went really quickly, and you guys, it is so satisfying to pull that vinyl off and see your lettering revealed. Next, I'm going to grab my transfer tape and I'm going to cut a piece of transfer tape about the same size as my lettering that I want to put on my project. And then I'm just going to remove the backing off of my transfer tape, press it onto my lettering, and I'm going to give it a good press with my fingers, as well as with this tool to make sure that the transfer tape is in good contact with all of the letters. I'm also going to flip it over and give it a good rub on the back as well. Once that's done, I'm going to slowly peel the backing off of my vinyl and it's going to leave my lettering on the transfer tape. Now I'm going to do this at a 45-degree angle, just like I did before. And if any of those letters stick, I just go back, give it a nice little press, and they were on my transfer tape really nicely. Now that I have it on there, I'm ready to put it on my project. So I just centered it where I wanted it, pressed it on, and once again made sure to rub it really well so that all the letters transferred nicely onto my project. This took me about 3 minutes to complete and I think it looks gorgeous. Next, I'm going to take my bell that is dry by now. The paint was completely dried, so I'm going to go ahead and put some twine right through it. And I'm just going to decorate it a little bit. I have little bits of pine cones and Christmas trees and ribbon and just everything laying around my craft room. So I'm just going to grab some and decorate this little bell to make it cute. Once that's done, I'm ready to work on my frame. Now, where I pulled the lion off, I was unable to get the glue off, but I thought this was the perfect place to put a little bit of detailing, which really brings out kind of that boho or modern farmhouse vibe, and also uses one of my favorite materials to craft with, which is twine. So I just wrapped it all the way around the top of the triangle and then down the other side. I did have to put a few drops of hot glue here and there just to make sure that it stayed on well, but it was very easy to just wrap it around and cover up that glue. Now for the top, I just used a dab of hot glue and then started going around in a bit of a circle, and I continued that way all the way down until I was overlapping the twine that was already on there and until I had kind of a design element that I thought was pretty. Now all I have to do is take the backing of my picture frame, remembering to put the black side facing outwards, and I secured it right into the frame, and there I have it, a beautiful piece of boho Christmas decor with some custom lettering. I love the boho look of that project, and it was a really great one to start on since it was my first time, you know, doing the cutting, doing the weeding and all that. It was perfect. But after figuring out how easy it was, I was ready to do a little bit of a larger project. One of the things that I loved about the Cricut Joy was finding out that the smart vinyl that you use in the machine can make a single cut up to 4 feet long or repeated cuts up to 20 feet long. You guys, this means that I can do some really big, beautiful projects, and I can do it all in one shot. So I was very excited to do a little bit of a bigger project. So for this project, I'm going to need this little elf sign that they have at Dollar Tree. They also have a scarecrow one, which is about the same dimensions that you could use as well if you're trying to use up your fall Dollar Tree purchases on Decor. I'm going to remove the sign, the ribbon, and the staples, and we'll cover that little part up later. Next, I'm going to give it a coat of white Waverly chalk paint. You could use acrylic paint too if that's what you have. I find this chalk paint to be nice because it dries really quickly and allows me to move ahead with my project without having too much wait time in between. Next, I'm going to grab my Waverly wax in the color Antique, and I'm going to do a faux wood treatment. So I'm going to make this look like wood by doing nice long strokes all along the surface of my board, and anywhere where I change directions, you'll see a little bit of darker paint there. And what that does is it's going to give it the look of little knots and imperfections just like you would get in regular wood. So I'm going to use that to my advantage to make this board look like a piece of wood. Once that's nice and dry, I'm ready to go into Design Space and design my vinyl that I want to transfer onto my wood to make a farmhouse wood sign. Now all I did was find some Christmas trees, type some lettering, and then I pulled out my permanent 20-foot long piece of glossy white vinyl. It was really easy to put this design together, and I loved how I could make it a bit longer than I made the other one, and I could do this all in one continuous cut. So I didn't have to worry about doing each individual piece. I just made my entire design, and it was able to cut about a 17-inch decal for me all at once. Now once that's done, I'm going to follow the same process that I did before. I'm going to pull back my excess vinyl. I'm going to use my weeding tool to pull out all of the excess vinyl in the middle of my letters. Then I'm going to use my transfer tape, give it a nice rub on the front and the back to make sure all of the lettering is on nice and securely. I'm going to pull back the backing of my vinyl, revealing my design on my transfer tape, and finally I'm going to place my transfer tape right onto my farmhouse wooden sign and transfer it right on. Now that my image is on my board, I'm just going to use a little bit of twine wrapped around the top and the bottom to give it a little bit of a rustic feel, but also to cover up those little puncture holes from where the staples were originally. And I just love the rustic farmhouse charm this sign has. You can add berries, holly, a little Christmas greenery or florals if you'd like, but I loved the rustic charm of it just like this. Okay, I absolutely love how that one came out. It's simple. I love that it's a little bit modern farmhouse, a little bit boho, very understated, but still has that Christmas joy about it. And you guys know me, anything with twine and I'm there. So along with the joy, I also got this Cricut Easy Press 2. Now I am so excited to do all kinds of different projects with this. With 3 girls, I'm just thinking about all the shirts I can customize, the pillows, decor for their room. It is just, the possibilities are endless. So I was excited to do a quick and easy project using some beautiful patterns that were right up my alley and kind of an IKEA hack that I've had in my mind for a while. I just never put it together, and this was the perfect time to try it. So just like the Joy, the Cricut Easy Press 2 was easy to set up, and it came with some practice materials, and I practiced pressing this Cricut logo directly onto the bag that holds the Easy Press. Then I was ready to use this iron-on patterns, which I absolutely love, and I decided to use these cork hot pads that I got from IKEA to make some cute holiday themed cork boards for my kids to put their pictures and any Christmas cards they get this season. I absolutely love these patterns. I love the organic nature of them, and I thought they would look really cute on these cork boards for Christmas and really all year round. So I just turned my material over, traced my cork board after deciding how much I wanted covered by the pattern, and I just cut that out with scissors. Now I just use this quick and easy setup on the top to decide the temperature that I want, and I set mine for 315 degrees Fahrenheit, and the time that I wanted was 15 seconds. I placed a towel down to protect my table. Of course, if you have the Cricut Easy Press mat, you can use that as well. And then I press the start button, making sure to go ahead and heat up my cork board prior to putting the pattern on. And then I pressed down with firm pressure for 15 seconds, turned my cork board over, and pressed down again for another 15 seconds. Doing both sides ensures that my material will stay on there for the long haul. And I was ready to peel off that top layer, and it was on there. You guys, this looks so amazing. It's nice and smooth, but it actually has a little bit of that cork pattern into the material, so it looks really neat close up as well as far away. You know, it's got this beautiful pattern on it that is striking that you can see from across the room. Now for the last one, I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I just cut out some strips, and I didn't want these to be perfect because I still wanted it to have an organic feel to it. But of course, if that kind of thing bothers you, make sure you use a straight edge to make your lines nice and even. But I just cut out 3 strips, and then I placed them onto my cork board after making sure they were the right size for my cork board. And I went through the process again. I heated up my cork board, then I pressed my material on for 15 seconds, turned it over and did another 15 seconds, and then it was done. Now a little bit of a Dollar Tree DIY added onto this was grabbing this round mirror that they sell in the picture frame portion of the Dollar Tree. I just used a little bit of hot glue, and it was the perfect size for my cork board. So this one had a bit of a frame on it. I think it would be really fun to maybe paint these the color of your kid's room, put some cork boards in there so you can leave them messages. I think that would be really cute. But for this one, I went ahead and added a little bit of Christmas decoration onto it with some hot glue. And I had these customized cork boards that are perfect for any time of year, but I think goes so nicely with the Christmas decor that I made from last year. I made these little trees that were black and white, and I love the way these patterns go along with it. Okay guys, so normally I choose a favorite DIY of the bunch, but this time I really can't choose a favorite. I am just floored by how easy this machine was to open up and just get started right away. I cannot believe that a beginner like me can make such beautiful projects first time out of the box. Now, what you're seeing in this video is literally my first time with my hands on a Cricut, and it was easier than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna say all three of them were my favorite this time, but head down to the comments and let me know which one was your favorite. If you're new to my channel, you might not know about the DIY treats, but this is the favorite portion for a lot of people. Now, because I made some easy Christmas projects, I also wanted to make a quick and easy Christmas snack. This is a little bit of a hack. I'm just putting cookies in melted chocolate. I mean, what could go wrong there? And just making it beautiful. If you have guests stop by, you can throw this together in a few minutes and you've got a beautiful Christmas treat to serve them. So it's time to eat. So this quick, easy DIY treat uses candy melts, or you can use white chocolate, whichever you have on hand. I'm gonna go ahead and melt that in the microwave, and then I'm gonna grab some ginger snaps, or you can use gingerbread cookies or molasses cookies, whatever you like at the holidays. I'm gonna go ahead and dip these ginger snaps right into my melted chocolate, making sure to get it about 2/3 of the way covered. Next, I'm going to use some red sprinkles, and I'm going to use 2 different types just to make it a little bit prettier and to use up some of the sprinkles that I have in my cupboard. So I'm going to put those on there pretty much so that they look like berries, and then I'm going to use green leaf sprinkles right under that. And they sell these a lot in the grocery store over the holidays, so you should be able to find them very easily. I'm going to pop those in the fridge for a few minutes to harden, and when they come out, I have a beautiful treat to serve to my guests that took no time at all to make. I hope you enjoyed the DIY projects that I had for you today. A special thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this video. I had a blast and cannot wait to make more projects with the Cricut Joy. Don't forget to head down to the comments and let me know which DIY was your favorite. Give this video a thumbs up and please share it with your friends. And I'll see you next time when we repeat it all again.